plays games with Steve
and Angel. All right, it's court time. Let's go ballin'.
Adrian did it?
That's what it looks like.
Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that.
In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you.
A mountain of evidence?
I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you.
Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, all right? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that.
I understand. Angel, or no, it's still you. It doesn't matter. Mia. Mama Mia. Here we go again.
We must get a complete acquittal today. Now I shall know.
Come out and see me sometime.
Yeah, come and see me sometime. In the afterlife. We must get a complete acquittal today.
I know. I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day.
Indeed. Well, let's get going.
Angel, you can take it.
This is strange. This is right.
Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial.
Maya, she's unharmed, right?
Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry. People don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. For myself, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning.
Present? What in the world did you want to give me?
You'll figure it out once the trial opens, even if you don't like my gift. I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please.
Wait! Damn it. The kidnapper sent me a present.
Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that?
Do I? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything.
Dude, did your nose just get longer?
March 22nd.
Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Nope.
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
Yeah, go ahead. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me?
Your Honor?
Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. I'm bored. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it?
Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
Oh my god.
What?
Shot?
Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about.
His present?
Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she disappeared, this would be to your advantage.
This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she all right?
I don't have that answer.
She's alive in a stable condition.
That's good. Phew. Huh? You're...
I thought he'd show up.
Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Ms. Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard.
The court acknowledges the prosecution.
Right? I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. Tisk, tisk, tisk. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation.
My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now.
For now?
After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Oh no! Detective Gumshoe?
The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he cares.
Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that.
Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight.
Yeah. Would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Shrimpteresting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Bare facts.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
Sounds legit. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room?
Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Wow, space. This murder happened after the Heroes Awards was done. The victim, Juan was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the case, we believe he was definitely murdered. He was definitely murdered. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Hold it! What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV station, or studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him. Sir.
So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
Our first order of business should be to gather more info from his testimony.
But there might be a trap set up for us somewhere.
Oh, you're right. Never mind. Maybe.
Let's just go home.
Yeah. However, setting off traps is part of a lawyer's job, too.
If you say so.
Of course. Of course, we're supposed to escape from them, too, wouldn't you say?
It happened, Hold it! Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony?
Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later.
And that's when the victim's body was found, correct?
Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period.
Please continue with your testimony, Detective.
The victim was found dead in his hotel room. Hold it! The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct?
Yeah.
Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about?
She's a defendant, Matt on Guard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir.
Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence.
When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. On Guard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir.
I see. And that's when she found the victim's body?
After looking into the case, I believe it was definitely murder. Hold it! The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Corrido was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Sorry, I had to take a sip. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. You just can't get enough of this milk. with his oysters.
Banana.
Below.
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Then what about the knife?
It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
Oh, interesting. At first we thought there was something suspicious. Hold it.
Suspicious.
And why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but
But
the only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
only the victims, huh?
I see. So much for my theory then.
I solved the case.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Man on Guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Looks like Edward's back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir.
Why arrest on guard?
Man on Guard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
Oh.
That's a spelling error.
Oh, it was. I actually missed it that time.
Is it brought or bought?
I think it's meant to be brought, not bought.
Really? Okay.
Oh, was it? Okay. No, I think it is
Oh,
bought.
I accidentally skipped through the judge, sorry.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
I might be wrong.
I guess we'll find out. Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure it's bought. Check the court record.
Yeah, that's what I'm checking. Yeah.
No, I mean, it should say.
Bears the victim's blood and Guard's fingerprints. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved.
Okay.
Well, it's from the hotel, so why would he buy a knife that has the hotel's brand on it? So I think it probably was brought, and I think Steve's
Or
right.
perhaps I've said too much.
Oh,
I think that's true. Let's go back.
I mean, I might think
Angel,
already.
it is bought. Let's go back.
Okay. I will be gaslit.
No, it is bought. Okay.
And
Sorry,
there's his button.
Sorry, this game has like burned me too many times with spelling errors, so I was just like,
That was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood?
I mean,
Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
what?
All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right?
I'll find the hole in your argument somehow.
You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions.
Oh, he loves it.
game's getting a little too meta.
Ooh, Magra and Harder were huge rivals with each other. Each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for the evidence, there's this Jammin' Ninja button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and found in Nagar's hakama. Fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Hold it! Well, there's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife.
Sorry, pal. This isn't just some pocket knife. It's not really useful for anything, and you can't just walk around with it either.
Ugh. Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for.
Phoenix.
Yes?
There's something very interesting about what what the detective just said now. Think carefully, before it's too late.
A button covered in the victim's blood, and a knife with Enguarde's fingerprints.
Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing.
We're still in a world of trouble.
Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be. Okay, Phoenix? Should be lucky that Detective Gumshoe isn't a clown.
Oh my god. Get him out of here immediately!
Judge would be like, I've heard enough.
Okay. If there's a button, it was ripped off and put in the Hakama. Hold it! When was this button found?
Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button.
I like the, like, I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but, like, the specificity that, like, he can't roll his R's, but, like, other characters can.
That is correct.
Wow.
So it was almost immediately after the murder.
The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks unlike some people.
Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? We're also all over the knife. Okay. Hold it! How are the fingerprints arranged on the knife?
Huh? What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand?
Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that.
Oh my god. I can't believe the bumbling of this department.
Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder.
So is the defendant the owner of this knife then?
He brought the knife to the...
What does it say?
The defendant bought the knife for
There
the
we
crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in the Enguarde's comma. There's a button. Just talk about this. Hold it! Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Enguarde was beating Mr. Kurita in the popularity polls.
Well, yeah, I guess, but...
Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all.
Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective?
It's not the... Well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Objection!
Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's...
I look forward to your pension negotiations.
Damn.
No!
He doesn't seem that hurt about it.
Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony.
No, not my poor pension, too.
Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed.
Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir.
What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? Hello? Hello? Alright. I feel like I just have to start pressing. Okay. So they mentioned, like, oh, the button is suspicious and the knife. That was Maya's tip. Or Mia's tip. Okay. Jamin Ninja was ripped from his costume, is covered in Kurita's blood, found in Enguarde's Hakama. If there's like an inconsistency with that, I'm not sure. I'm also... Oh, it's the button on the right? Or his right? Yeah, okay. There's a tomato juice. He just ripped it. Wait, okay. The knife is in the... Sorry, I'm so blind.
It's in the wound, yeah.
It's in the wound. Where... So they removed the button and... Wait, yeah, the knife's there. Okay, sorry, like... If for some reason, like, I can see the knife now. It's like against his neck. I think because it was so parallel, I thought it was just like part of the costume. Yeah, it's like a weird tangent.
Yeah.
So he ripped off the knife and put he ripped off the button, put the knife there. But like, can it happen in that order? Or I guess maybe he could be stabbed and then they like ripped off the button and like put it and like planted the button on him. I'm just trying to think about the order of like, how can the blood get on there? But I guess it makes sense. Was ripped from his costume, is covered in Kurita's blood, found in on guard's Hakama. But that wasn't... He was choked to death, is the thing. Hold on, let me see. Cause of death. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. But are they certain which killed him, though? Like, was he... Like, did he suffocate, and then they just stabbed him with a knife? Like, the knife wasn't the actual finishing blow? Is that it? Can I get a confirmation on that?
Not yet. I think all we know is that.
Okay. So, because it's like we don't know, that's gonna be like a point. Is that like
all we know right now is that he was
what
strangled and the knife was stabbed into him. That's all the information
we don't know
have
which
right
one
now.
actually killed him.
Well, I don't want to worry too much about that right now.
Okay. Gatewater is engraved. Then the hotel's name is Gatewater, right?
Yes.
Okay. It was ripped off the ninja in the costume. The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime. Well, okay. Now I'm just thinking maybe Steve kind of spoiled it for me, so I'm gonna present this.
Steve, I'm gonna kill you. Oh my god.
Objection!
Angel had the answer immediately. I don't know if you even remember Angel, but you said, "Oh, well, the knife was Gatewater, so he couldn't have bought it."
Yeah.
But then because
Well,
Gotcha.
I kind of thought like, I'm like, oh jeez, I spoiled it, but I realized like you figured it out anyway.
But then I think they were so distracted by Broad. They even said Broad accidentally once. I was like, oh, it's bot. Please,
Yeah.
it's bot. It's bot. It's bot.
Oh.
Yeah, and reading the whole sentence, I'm like, yeah, I messed up.
It's
But
okay.
I thought Angel still figured out regardless, so then I was
They
kinda
did,
just like,
but then, let's keep going. It's the classic Angel's like, well, I guess this is the exact answer. But what if it isn't? All
Well,
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
did you enjoy that? I like, okay, I'll be a little confused
No.
anyway.
No.
Like, you just you put me 2 steps back.
no, I never enjoyed that.
Okay, well, cool.
I'm not.
This was on Steve. You're good. Let's go.
Wait a second.
Well, what?
So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand,
That's right, pal. The defendant.
did not buy this knife.
Huh?
Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Huh?
It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle.
Gatewater. I think I heard that name somewhere before.
That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel.
Uh-oh.
That was you.
Yeah, it was.
The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated.
I want you to say for me.
Oh, can I? There we go. Is something juicy gonna happen right now?
Not necessarily, but
Did you say
Oh, that's very true. Very big.
very big? Ooh.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Was my voice that funny?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know. The question is, where did this knife come from?
Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Kurita's room.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table.
There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard.
Here's a perfect recreation of the entire room.
I have a little model and like little minis I'm just putting out, especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? He cleans up the whole model and puts it away neatly. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt on guard's knife was missing.
Eek.
Mr. Ungard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder.
Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction.
It seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning.
This must be one of those traps. And I just walked headlong into it.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Evidence not yet shown?
He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well...
Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here...
Save.
Oh. That gavel viz will be ringing to the sound of our death?
Defeat.
Defeat. Okay, we saved. Alright.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
Yes. Just yes.
Okay. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I am giving you one chance and only one.
What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
You will actually get game over.
Wow. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court?
It's my butthole badge. It's, let's see. That they haven't seen. So they've seen the guitar case. For me, I think it's the wine glass. It shows, it found next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice. No sign it's been drank. Like there was like a sign of like, let's see. Yeah, like there was like all this commotion, but like for some reason, like the tomato glass is just like fine, untouched. Like the sign of a struggle. So, all right, let's present it. Take that.
So good.
This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken. His makeup is all over the floor. These are all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is still sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say?
Well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth?
What is it, Your Honor?
Your opinion.
You don't need my opinion, because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What?
It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. by the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible. Mr. Wright?
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? Without thinking? The phrasing is what's kind of throwing me off. Like, maybe that was her mistake. Like, she did that without thinking. But I think what we need to get at here is that it wasn't just like, we don't want to agree with Miles. Like, let's just say there's no way. If I appear weak here, the trial's over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty.
They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough.
The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves that it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing.
Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
What?
Tisk, tisk, tisk. You're not thinking hard enough today, Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice?
Then...
Of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints.
Fingerprints?
There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass.
Only one? Well, whose were they?
They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were of one Adrian Andrews.
What?
That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright?
I can't believe I fell into another trap.
Ms. Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser.
What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now do you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I've come to discover.
Well, wait a second. Mr. Edgeworth, I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
Another witness?
Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness.
What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking?
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please.
Got Z-O-T-C-H-A.
I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Oh, Edgy boy, it's been 1 year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand?
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime.
Ms. Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know.
Oh, shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
Yes, madam.
No, please, by all means interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please.
It's true what they say that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone's crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Slow line.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo.
Was that on purpose or?
I don't think...
Oh, was it? The pacing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Well, we're gonna do Edgy Boy a favor here, and we're gonna postpone this till tomorrow.
Oh man, more old bag tomorrow. What a treat.
Woo!